What's up guys, so as of the day I'm recording this, the Valentine's Day update just came out and I'm already gonna be making a guide for everything you need to know. If you want to know how to obtain a lot of hearts, how to spend the hearts, information about the NPC and other things, you clicked on the right video. So without a doubt, let's get started. So firstly, I'm gonna go over how to get a bunch of hearts. So I'm not gonna waste your guys' time. I'm just gonna go over the best methods first. And since you guys really probably want to know that the most, how to get the most hearts, I'm going over that first. So the first method is to do the quests. Now, something insanely overpowered about the quests is that once you complete the quests in one sea, you can just go ahead to another sea and do more quests. So in the third sea, you can do 5 quests. In the second sea, you can do 4 quests. And in the third sea, you can do 3 quests. So that goes to a total of 12 quests. And if I do the math, in total, that's 1,550 hearts in total. And yeah, the quest resets every 7 hours. I mean, yeah, that's kind of a long wait. But you can do like a lot of those quests and gain a lot of hearts in that time. And by the way, if you don't have access to all 3 of the seas, if you only have access to the first 2 seas, you can get up to 800, and if you only have access to the first sea, you can get up to 400 hearts. So for all 3 seas, the first 3 quests are all the same. For 50 hearts, you defeat 5 enemies for the first quest. For 100 hearts, you defeat any boss for the second quest. And for 150 hearts, you defeat 10 enemies for the third quest. However, for the fourth quest, in the second sea, you have to get 2 of any fish and give it for 200 hearts. But in the third sea, you have to defeat 3 bosses, any 3 bosses for 200 hearts for the fourth quest. And for the final 5th quest, you just get a fish that's the rarity of rare or above for 250 hearts. And yeah, that basically sums up the first method. Now, the second method, I'd argue, is the best one, and it's better than this method. Some people might disagree. This method can give a lot of hearts, but it depends on like how much access to seas you have. And it also has a 7-hour cooldown, which is like really long, even though it gives you a lot of hearts. But the next method, it doesn't matter what sea you're in, and it also has a way shorter cooldown, even though it gives less hearts. But before I go on to the second method, I want to talk about 2 things that I discovered for the first method. So firstly, if you defeat a boss, it also counts as an enemy for the enemy's quest. Because in the first sea, I was helping these people defeat the saw, and when I defeated the saw, it counted as 1 enemy because I had the enemy's quest enabled. And secondly, any enemies that are 100 levels below the player are gonna be like power scaled, meaning that your damage is gonna be like altered depending on like how low level they are. So you can see right here, like I don't just one-shot the monkeys, like I do such little damage. I was like, wait, what's going on? And then yeah, I remembered that. So you can't just one-shot any enemies you want, just because they're way lower level than you. So yeah, that's basically how that works, so keep that in mind. Now that I've addressed all of that, let's go to the second method. So the second method is to do the Valentine's delivery minigame. Basically, in this minigame, you have to fly on a flamingo and follow the arrows to go through the hoops. And you have to deliver the letter before the time runs out. This minigame is not only about doing it in time, however, there are multiple ranks such as S and A rank. S rank is the highest and gives 135 hearts. And you can get S rank really easily if you just go through all the hoops and follow the arrow. You can do this minigame up to 3 times every hour. So if you do the math, you can get 425 hearts per hour from this method. These 2 methods I've gone over are the only primary OP methods, but they have cooldowns. The other methods I'm gonna go over are secondary methods that are always available but don't give much hearts. I don't really recommend doing these methods, but you can do them if you want. So the third method is to just grind NPCs, and they have like a chance of dropping like 2 to 5 hearts. And this method, it's kind of slow because it's not like one of those main OP methods, but I mean, it's still a method at least. So now let's go on to the fourth method. So the fourth method is to just simply grind bosses, and the bosses can give around like 10 to 20 hearts each time you kill them. Now this one I recommend even less than the last one, because like the bosses take a long time to spawn and they don't give much hearts. I mean, it's kind of a lot, but not really. And I'm just reusing that clip of me doing the saw. But honestly, any boss just works. Like, pretty much any normal boss. Like, you don't have to do, like, a raid boss or some special boss. But yeah, that's the fourth method. And now I'm gonna go on to the final method. The final method to obtain hearts is to do sea events. Now, not all sea events give hearts, only some of them do. And so far, the only 3 that I've seen that actually give hearts are piranhas, sharks, and the fish crew members from the haunted ship raids. And I tried sea beasts, and I don't think those give hearts. And I've also tried the normal ship raids, and those also don't give hearts. Maybe some of them do and I just didn't get it, but I don't think you can actually get them from those. And I haven't tried a Terra Shark yet. I just wanted to like make like a quick guide early so people can know what to do early on. But yeah, I couldn't figure out those things, so if you guys can figure out which ones give it and which ones don't, let me know in the comments. And now that we're done with all the methods, nextly I'm gonna go over how to spend your hearts. Now, I can't really tell much on this because you can just spend it however you want, but I'm just gonna give like tips or recommendations. But before that, one tip I have when using like the methods to get hearts is to also use alt accounts. Like, for example, if you want to spin a fruit, you could use an alt account to get hearts and spin fruits. And while you're on the cooldown for like the quest giver, you could also go on your alt account and do the quests on there. And yeah, like you could also do like the mini game if you want. And now I'm gonna recommend you tips on how to spend your hearts if you need them. So what I did was, since I didn't have both of the accessories for the Valentine's event, I got those first, and it was really easy to get hearts. So I got those first, and then I just started spinning fruits. And since I had an alt account, I just used that one to just completely spin fruits, because I didn't really need like important accessories on that account, just my main account. But yeah, like I recommend it. But if you really just like do not care and you just want to spin fruits, go ahead. But if you do not care about fruits that much either, the gacha, you can just get the accessories. But that's what I did. I would get that first because it's a limited time accessory. It's not always gonna be there. And then yeah, I just like spun the gacha later, all the rest of them. The only times I'm not gonna do it is if there's like a really good fruit on the Valentine stock. I would spend my hearts on that instead. And yeah, other than that, I would just recommend spending it on the accessories first in the Valentine stock. But yeah, I don't really recommend spending anything else on the Valentine stock. So what you can, like, there's like multiple things you can get, but the only thing I really recommend getting is like those accessories and like a super good fruit if it's on stock. And also like you might need money or fragments or 2 times XP. I could recommend 2 times XP because those are limited. And things like race rerolls or stat refunds or stuff like that, you could also spend your hearts for that, but you could like just use those anytime with like fragments. So maybe it's not super recommended, but if you do not want to spare a bunch of fragments and you don't have a lot of access to fragments and you're okay with sparing a little bit of hearts, then just go ahead. Nextly, I'm gonna go over all the different types of NPCs. So first up, I'm gonna go over the Valentine stock NPC. This one has usually been around for a long time. Basically, she gives 6 things on stocks. These can be things like fruits that you can switch to, like the other like limited game pass thingies like 2 times XP, race reroll, and stat refund maybe theoretically. And you could also get currency like money or fragments. And you could also get the accessories. But those are the things you can get. So for that one, yeah, like I said, I recommend only getting like the like accessories, and also like if there's a really good fruit on stock, get that, and maybe the 2 times XP if you really need it. But other than that, stuff like money or like fragments, those are like the worst ones. You can just get that amount really easily, and it's not worth spending hearts for. And other stuff like race rerolls, like you can guess you could spend those, but like I don't know, I would just save my hearts and just get fragments for those. Okay, so the next NPC is the Valentine's Gotcha, and this NPC is gonna be pretty important because you can get the Fiend Yeti mutation, which is super valuable once the update is there. But basically, it's just like a gotcha, but you also have other stuff, like besides the fruits, like you can get the backgrounds, and you can get accessories. I was able to get the romantic bouquet accessory on my alt account, and basically like also once you get the wallpaper accessory, it makes you do like another like roll to get like a fruit or whatever. And obviously I already gone over that you can get the Fiend mutation, so those are some things you can get from it. So you should that's a pretty good way to spend hearts on that. That's like one of the most important NPCs. So the next NPC I'm gonna go over is the Valentine's Quest Giver NPC. And this one's pretty self-explanatory. All it really does is it just gives you a quest. And he also like tells you like how much time you have before the quest resets, which could be kind of useful. But this is also an important NPC. So yeah, nothing much else to say. So the final NPC I'm gonna go over is the Valentine's Delivery NPC. Basically, what it does is it just lets you do the Valentine's minigame. It also like tells you how much time before you can do it. And besides that, there will also be a message that shows up on your screen once the cooldown is ready. But that's pretty much all I have to say. And I mean, it also does the same thing for the Valentine's stock that I forgot to talk about. So now I'm gonna go over some other things, and first I'm gonna go over the friendship booster. So basically what it does is the amount of friends you have in your server, it goes up. So each friend equals 15% boost, and the maximum is 45%. So that's like 3 friends, and this can be really good for grinding. You can invite your friends and play with them, or you can find people in the server and send a friend request to them. But yeah, that's basically how that works. And the final thing I'm just gonna talk about is that there's only 9 days to do this. So I guess just try your best and good luck. Other than that, guys, that's all I have to talk about for this event, and see you next time. Hope you have a wonderful day.